For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were admired as one of hip-hop's most unshakable couples, a symbol of loyalty, strength, and true commitment in an industry where relationships are often short-lived and scandal-prone. From love letters during prison bids to red carpet appearances that celebrated unity, they represented what many fans described as black love goals. Papoose was publicly praised for waiting years for Remy's release from prison and remaining faithful, supportive, and present in her life and career. Remy, once freed, stepped back into the spotlight with him by her side, and together they built what seemed like an unbreakable bond. But behind the curated social media posts and joint appearances, cracks had begun to form. And in 2022, those cracks widened into a full-blown collapse. It started quietly, whispers on blogs, rumors on Twitter. People began speculating about a distance between them, especially as Remy Ma became more visible on her own and Papoose became increasingly quiet. Then came the tension around her interactions with battle rapper Eazy the Block Captain. A viral fight at an event involving both Papoose and Eazy sparked the first major wave of headlines, though no one fully understood what was happening behind the scenes. That fight seemed personal, not just industry drama, and fans began asking questions. Then came the bombshell. In a statement that stunned fans and immediately went viral, Papoose said, "I got videos and pictures of us, and they'll go public whenever I decide. I don't care if she goes back to him." This wasn't just shade, it was a declaration of war. A message that there were receipts, evidence, and a story far darker than anyone had anticipated. Soon after, Papoose took to social media and revealed a series of accusations that shocked fans who had looked up to the couple. He accused Remy Ma of not just cheating on him, but of being in a serious, ongoing relationship with another woman. According to Papoose, this wasn't some quick, meaningless fling. It was an emotional and physical betrayal that took place in their own home. He said Remy had rejected him repeatedly, kept him at arm's length, and made him feel like a stranger in the place they once built together. Even more disturbing was his claim that this other woman had stayed over in their house, while their young daughter was sleeping just a few feet away. In one emotional account, Papoose described the night everything clicked. He said something felt off. He wasn't a rocket scientist, but the energy was strange. When he confronted the situation, he discovered what he believed was undeniable evidence of the affair, and worse, that his daughter had unknowingly been present through it all. The betrayal wasn't just physical or emotional, it was deeply personal and cut across the very foundation of their family. Fans were stunned. This was the same couple who stood strong through Remy's prison sentence. The same couple who married while she was still behind bars. Who renewed their vows on national TV. Who celebrated black love when so many celebrity couples were falling apart. If they couldn't make it, what did that mean for everyone else? Papoose's accusations didn't stop at cheating. He accused Remy of manipulating the public and chasing clout. He said she pawned her own jewelry, including a Cartier bracelet, and came to him begging for help. He claimed she wanted to reconcile behind the scenes, crying over their lost relationship and asking him to make things right. But in public, she was telling a different story, one where she had already moved on and was no longer interested in their marriage. Then came the Instagram Live. Remy Ma fired back fast, denying many of the claims Papoose made. Her tone was unapologetic. She mocked Papoose for being overly emotional, calling him broke, and even labeling him an emotional girl. She said he was lying for attention and that the only reason he filed for divorce was because he saw her starting to publicly move on. According to Remy, she had already signed the divorce paperwork. She even claimed she offered to pay for it herself to get it done faster, but Papoose was the one dragging things out. She brought her own receipts to the battle. In a scathing Instagram post, she shared a pawn shop slip tied to the Cartier bracelet and claimed Papoose had taken it and never brought it back. She said he was supposed to pick it up before his birthday, but instead, it vanished. She painted him as petty, vindictive, and financially dependent on her. She also exposed text messages allegedly from Papoose, saved in her phone under the name Bozo. In one of those texts, he sent her a video of their daughter, an attempt, she claimed, to emotionally manipulate her into staying connected. But things didn't stop there. In what felt like a new low for both parties, Remy threatened to bring Papoose's son into the drama, suggesting she might go live on social media with him and expose even more family secrets. Fans who had once rooted for this couple were now watching a deeply personal war play out in real time, with children caught in the crossfire. Through it all, Papoose maintained that he had kept quiet for the sake of their daughter. He said he never wanted to expose Remy or tear their family apart. But once she went public, mocking him and denying his experience, he felt he had no choice but to defend himself. Then came the claim that shifted the tone entirely. In a particularly raw statement, Papoose said, "She hates men." Not in a petty, casual sense, but in a deep, emotional way. He claimed Remy had grown cold and distant, not just toward him, but toward men in general. He said she resented him for discovering her relationship with another woman, and that she began treating him like an enemy. It wasn't about jealousy. He made that clear. He said he wasn't angry about her sexuality. What hurt him most was the secrecy, the dishonesty, and the way she made him feel invisible inside his own home. This statement sent shockwaves through social media. People started digging. Old videos began resurfacing. Clips of Remy criticizing male rappers, questioning traditional gender roles, and expressing frustration with the industry's treatment of women. Suddenly, fans began wondering, had she been hinting at this shift for years? Had we missed the signs? And if the woman Papoose caught her with had been around for a long time, perhaps even part of her inner circle, then this wasn't just a secret relationship. It was an entirely hidden life. But Papoose wasn't done. He dropped yet another bombshell. He claimed he wrote 90% of Remy Ma's lyrics. That's right, the bars that made her a legend. The verses that earned her street cred. The lines that fans memorized. According to him, those were his words. He said he never asked for credit, never asked for money. He simply wanted her to shine. But now, with his loyalty being questioned and his name being dragged through the mud, he was no longer willing to stay quiet. Remy pushed back again. She posted more receipts, stood her ground, and warned him publicly, "I'm going to do everything you think I won't." What that meant remained vague, but it was clear the gloves were off. And so, what was once a celebrated relationship, a beacon of love and loyalty, had completely unraveled. What made this breakup so painful for fans wasn't just the scandal or the accusations. It was what Remy and Papoose represented. They were supposed to be the exception. The couple that showed you could ride through the storm and come out stronger. That love could last even through prison, poverty, and the pressure of fame. Instead, their story now serves as a painful reminder of how fragile relationships can be, even when they look strong on the outside. So, who's telling the truth? Is Papoose a heartbroken husband finally speaking out after years of silence? Or is he a bitter man clinging to a past that no longer exists? Is Remy Ma stepping into her truth, or is she rewriting the story to avoid accountability? The truth may lie somewhere in between. What's undeniable is that this isn't just a breakup. It's a full-scale public unraveling of two lives once intertwined by love, loyalty, and shared dreams. And now, those dreams are being shattered, piece by piece, post by post, live stream by live stream. The internet has become the courtroom. Screenshots are the evidence, and the fans, they're the jury. So now we ask you, who do you believe? Was this the final act of a love story gone wrong, or the opening scene of two very different truths colliding? Let us know in the comments below.